Okay, so for the final step of the bread, after it has risen another hour, if you make no topping for the top of the bread, you're gonna melt the 2 tablespoons of butter and just brush the butter over the entire little balls of bread. If you do decide to do a bit of a topping on top of those little pull-apart breads, then you will take 1 egg that you're gonna crack. Okay. You're going to add a bit of water to it. I would say like half a tablespoon, not more. And then with a fork, you're going to whip that together. Okay, that's going to become the glue that will help the seasoning stick to your little doughs. Okay, so after letting it rise an hour, this is what it should look like. So they will have ballooned closer together. It's okay if there are still little pockets of holes, because once it's going to bake, it's going to grow even more. Okay, so you're going to brush generously. You want to pretty much finish the entire amount of egg wash on top of the dough. Okay, so you're going to brush that. For those who want a vegan option, if you use flax eggs, that's fine as well. Or you could actually just brush with a little bit more olive oil and sprinkle with the seasoning, although it's not going to stick as well as with an egg and water. Okay, so you might not have to use the entire amount, but almost 3/4 of it should be used on top. Okay. And then you're going to generously season the topping. Always put a bit more, because once you're going to pull apart, some of it's going to fall off. So if you want to have a good taste of it in every single dough ball, you want to be able to put a lot of it. So like I said in the first video, I used the Everything Bagel seasoning. So I'm going to generously sprinkle that on top. Okay. So you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. If you can, take the rack and put it in the middle section of the oven. It really helps with the air circulation and having the best kind of cook when you're baking, okay? Especially baking bread, cakes, all of that, you should always put it in the middle section. So don't overcrowd the oven either. So if you are planning on doing something else in the oven at the same time, I would try to avoid that. Really do it one step at a time. So this is what it looks like once it's all seasoned. And then you put it in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes. I like checking after half an hour because my oven is very, very old. So it takes a bit longer for it to cook. You might have very deluxe oven, so it might be a little bit less. So if in doubt, check. Okay, so after half an hour, check, and then add maybe increments of 5 to 10 minutes, and then let it cool about 5 to 10 minutes before you start pulling it apart. It's always a nice presentation if you serve it in the pan. Remember that your handle is going to be super hot, so don't grab the handle. Use oven mitts when you remove it from the oven, and even when you're serving it on the table, I would put a cloth over the handle just not to forget and just grab it and burn your hands. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully you'll enjoy your little baking tip and you will impress your entire family.